This is an eBay package, PAR Electronics, Manchester, New Hampshire. This is an oven-controlled crystal oscillator, 8 megahertz. I believe this is a non-standard pinout. But it appears to be new. I cannot find any information about this fellow or that model number. This is the way it was sold on eBay. Exactly what it reads on the front of it. $18, free shipping. No. $3.50 shipping. And it was from this guy here. This is another eBay package. Came from one of the Chinese, the Mega Cavern in Louisville. That was great. These are 10, I believe 10 pieces. Yeah, 10 pieces. Of 1mm double-sided board. 0. 1mm or 0.99. And I wanted this in order to make some of these LCR inserts. This is 1mm board. So this is there they are, 100 by 70 millimeters, 1 millimeter thick. So I'm not sure what I paid for this. $19? And $3.81 shipping. And it's from this guy here. Gadgets Kingdom. This is an eBay package, or at least it's an eBay seller. And this was advertised as a, let me see what it says here, a test board for OCXO modules. It has the ability to accept 4 different layouts. They're referred to here as X1, X2, X3, and X4. And here's an example of X4, which I think would fit in this smallest pin set. And X3 would fit in this bigger pin set. And so on until we get clear to the outside here. And he says it's for 10 megahertz devices. I don't see why it couldn't be used for almost any reasonable frequency. It apparently needs 12 volts, but it can provide power at 12 volts or 5 volts. It has an independent power source for the control frequency control pin, you see. And that consists of a precision reference and a high quality op amp to adjust the frequency of the oscillator. I believe it can use inline pins, dip sockets, or it can use surface mount devices, at least for these two integrated circuits. It was advertised like this on eBay. There's some documentation. There's also layouts of the board, top and bottom, schematic, and a bill of materials to populate the board. The board itself bare costs $15. And this is the seller. I highly recommend you visit this guy's eBay page. He has a lot of boards, not 100, but a fair number of boards. An awful lot of, looks like Tektronix, modules, knobs, maybe some Hewlett-Packard. Nice seller, quick delivery. This is another item sold on eBay. This is a Stripmaster wire stripper. I have, at last count, 5 of these. And these are the second generation. I have one of the first. They're not as nice as the second generation. And they come in all different combinations of wire sizes. I have 12 and above, and I have 16 and below, but I don't have a single one that does number 14. These are excellent wire strippers. The thing you have to do, you put your wire in through the appropriate hole, and you squeeze like this, and the first thing that happens, this little guillotine comes down and grabs the wire, and then it pulls the wire through the hole, and you got to go the whole way. There's a tiny click there. What that does is allow the guillotine to open before the device slams shut. If you strip stranded wire by doing this, you may have stripped it. Now you've just smashed the strands. But if you complete the stroke, the wire, freshly stripped, get out of there, will be held in place and pulled, fall away before the thing slams shut. Excellent devices. You could buy just one set of handles and a bunch of matching plates for less than $20, say $12.50 plus $6.50 shipping. It's easier just to have an intact unit rather than a bunch of plates. This is a package from Mouser Electronics. If you've watched this channel, you'll see most of my stuff comes from China. There are times, though, when you want to guarantee yourself that you're getting legitimate devices. Mouser is one of the American wholesalers or warehouses that you can do that with. I don't have pricing. I wanted to say that these prices are really reasonable. I ordered 2 of these and 2 of these. They're essentially the same thing. They're a voltage reference. One's a 10 volt one, one's a 5 volt one. So 4 ICs. Now had these come from China, they would have been in a plastic bag or a tube at best. Look at this. They're static packed individually, 2 pieces. In a little box, an anti-static box with a seal. Two of the foam, top and bottom. These cost around $4 a piece. And I got them in 2 days. You can't not beat that. I believe this to be a AliExpress package, but I don't recognize this Sino, Elk Grove Village, Illinois. That's a different address than I've seen before. And it appears to be a repackaging operation. That's it. What we have here is a 10 megahertz oven controlled crystal oscillator mounted to a board. Takes 5 volts. Has a potentiometer that trims this 10 megahertz output. So this is oven controlled, probably draws a half an amp at one point. This is the way it's advertised on Ali. This is the store. It is a 10 megahertz OC XO board, blah blah blah. Free shipping, $20. I powered this thing up, and when I did, it immediately drew 1 amp at 5 volts. In 3 minutes, it dropped to a half an amp. Now that current draw was due to the fact that there's a heater in this block. After all, we can't heat it to a lower temperature than ambient. It has to be heated to a higher temperature than ambient. Now it's insulated, so it's not hot to the touch. Also have it hooked to my oscilloscope. The output of this little device is a yellow trace. The upper trace is my 10 megahertz shop standard. And you can see just from the get-go, with 5 minutes of heating up, it's within 1/10 of a hertz. If you were to time from now, that's when this peak passed this peak, to when this peak gets here. The number of seconds it takes to do that, the inverse number, is the deviation of the frequency. Just up here, just down here. So if we were to start a clock, for example, right now, these two peaks were coinciding, and measured the time it takes for this peak to coincide with that, and take the inverse of it. So if we had a stopwatch and stopped it right now, say that was 10 seconds, it's 1/10 of a hertz difference between the two. It's been a half an hour. Current's down to about 400 milliamps. And looking at the oscilloscope, you can see the two frequencies are practically... I cannot see any movement relative to each other. This is another alley package. Set of Kelvin clips, 4 wires, to a connector. No shield or guard hookup. Then we have this. Or 2 ohm. I guess device with 1 milliohm resolution. It has 2 leads in here. I guess one's power lead and the other's the 4 wires. Because this is a 4-wire Kelvin hookup, you could use this or these. And this is one of those panel mount. Nice little self-enclosing bezel. And I have a hunch these will be no good. I guess I could translate these using Google maybe. Since there's no push buttons, unless this is a touch screen, I highly doubt it. There appears to be no means of zeroing. I believe this meter is this meter, and I ordered the 2 ohm version, which would be 2000 milliohms. From Kiss Buy store for $20. Now that makes 2 of these I have. I did one in another mail video. This one's the first one with Kelvins. One had just 2 crocodile clips. This is an eBay box. Get an idea of that size. Looks like it splits right here. Seller, New Old Sounds. They are merely inductors. I believe it's rated 1 amp. Here's the eBay page. They were $7.39 each. And they're from this seller. Same as the return address.